Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for visiting Goldielovesu.com. I am so excited that you're here. I'm just as excited that you're willing to take this next step in the coaching and mentoring, whichever one that you think will be best for you. Please, by all means, I'm more than happy to assist you. I've done this video like over and over again because I wanted to do this sales pitch and about, what I offer and what I do, but just let me give you a little bit of my life story. I grew up in Chicago. I now reside in Dubuque, Iowa. And I grew up in Chicago, just like everybody else on the south side of Chicago. I have a story. I have a past. When I say a past, I mean a past that's very colorful. Not colorful to the point that some people are judging and thinking that it's this whole like I came from a mean street and came off the streets. No, that only happened later on in my life. So early in my life, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I was raised in a two-parent household for most part of my life up until about 10 years old. And my mom died when I was 13. I had a lot of challenges at home. I'm going to write a book about it, so I'm not going to go into detail. But it was, I guess, we'll say abusive. My father was abusive to my mother. Well, he was my stepfather at the time. He was my dad, right? So he was abusive. My mom was abusive towards me. I was the only child until I was 8. And then when I became eight, I had a little sister. And then my mom died when I was 13. Then I lived with my grandmother. Growing up in a two-parent household, I had just about anything I thought that kids can have. I really didn't want for anything. When my mom died, I ended up being with my grandmother, having to share space with two other relatives, with cousins that became my sister and brother when my mom died. So my grandmother raised us. I was raised in a totally different atmosphere, raised by a single parent, then her being a single parent, raising us. I was a teenager. She was going through her changes. I was going through mine. So I lived in a way that some people, a lot of people will be familiar with the way I was raised. A lot of us, if you sit around and you sit with a group of women, a lot of us have the same story, just in different areas of demographics, right? So anyway, I grew up not attached to things, wanting love and the nurturing. I had an awesome aunt. If it was not for her, I probably wouldn't have lasted as long as I lasted. My grandmother she played an instrumental role as well. So I'm doing this video just to say thank you. And I have a story just like anybody else. And I decided to go into coaching because I wanted to help people just like myself that just didn't know where to start. Had it not been for my aunt, and people, you may know her as Mushim Suit or Rita Stewart. She began life coaching, actually in 1988 when it wasn't as traditional. It wasn't known yet. And she did it out in where she lived. And when she did it, she did it real. It was over 30 years ago. So she began, and then she created an institute, a form of educational platform. So she began certifying coaches in 2010. So then I became one of the students and part of this curriculum. So when I decided to take on coaching, I had reached a point in my life that I had been married. I divorced in 2010. I divorced. It was 17 years. It was not the best breakup. I pretty much left with the clothes on my back. I was homeless for a while. I began a business. Then I was homeless. I was suicidal. I was suicidal even while I was married, and then after. I just realized I needed to get my life together. Now, when I started my business in 2010, I was in the middle. I was right before we divorced, right before we broke up. And then here I am. trying to still keep it all together. I did not have it together. Had a lot of challenges. A lot of things happened to me. So my aunt saw me going through this thing again that she saw me going through at least, I say it was 10 years before. And when she saw it, she had just created, just began the educational platform for life coaching certification. I began it. Wasn't really onto it yet, and I began it like in 2011, 2012. I got certified in 2013. So it's been 5 years since it's been six. And so I've been certified since 2012. And so I have been a certified coach since 2012. And I decided that I wanted to help people. Now, when I decided to do the business in 2010, I did it with the intentions that I really want to assist people. Actually, in 2009, when Michael Jackson died, and I was my intention was to be that person to tell people no, I did not want to be the yes person just because you are a celebrity or just because you have a following, just because you this person to everybody. I wanted to be that voice of reason. But in order for me to do that, I had to go through what I've gone through to be here today. So this video is not is first of all, it's a welcome video. Thank you so much and welcome to Goldielovesu website, if I didn't say that already. Second of all, I wanted you to see me in a form of not just being so professional and so trying to sell you something. I really just want to tell you that from the life that I've been living, the result has been life. I have started and down a path that I had no idea I would end up here. I'm in Dubuque, Iowa. I moved here 5 years ago. When I moved here 5 years ago, I had just got certified, right? So being here, I still didn't know what I was doing. We moved here. My husband had a business in Illinois. He had a record label and a studio. He moved it here. We had it in our house for a little while, and then he went on this year actually and moved it out of the house. He has a great business. I still run my business with assisting people and consulting and radio and interviews and consulting management. I help people get their plan of action together. That's pretty much what I do. And I call myself an entrepreneur. I won't say I'm the jack of all trades, but I have a whole bunch of them that I have tested and proven. I've been in corporate America. I was in corporate America almost 25 years. Then I moved on and went into a smaller sector of education, and now I'm in a library. And I still use my customer service as a service to people because I believe that I am a service. I'm a servant of people to make sure that people are living the best life possible. And that's why I'm doing this video. I really, I'm so glad and so excited that you all decided to just click on the link. Even if you don't take anything else but just in this video, I hope I inspire you that you want to live the best life possible. But if you are interested in coaching, I have 6-month sessions. I do it in 6 months because it is a one-on-one session. I think you get more. You get resources. You have access to me. We have one-on-one sessions, whether they be in person or online. I prefer in person. However, this would be something that you will be working directly with me for 6 months. We put together a strategy, a plan of action. We set goals, and then that's where the work starts. It's going to be a challenge, but let me tell you how rewarding it is. You're looking at someone that did not think that she would live past 30 years old. I am 49 years old, and I am here to tell you that I am so happy that I'm living the best life possible, and I really am committed to any of my clients, anybody that seek me out to be a coach for them. I want you to be the best you can be. So if you think coaching is for you, hit me up. I have one-on-one coaching, and I also have group mentoring circles. If you already, say you got things together and you just need a support group, I have mentoring circles. The mentoring circles is, I believe, up to 12 weeks. It is a session. I take on 2 to 12 people. And what we do, we pair up and we support each other. We have an online group. We also have resources. We will have weekly online meetings. We will meet anywhere from around the world via the internet. We will talk, we will chat. We can even develop new relationships. Every mentoring group that I've had and I have organized, I have developed many new business partnerships and life partnerships. And I thank you guys so much for even, like I said, clicking on the link. If you think you are here, if you want the 6 month one-on-one, or the mentoring circle, which is more intensive, it has support, but it's more like concentrated. But you have accountability partners and things like that. So if you either one, if there is good for you, click on the link, sign up. Even if you just want to sign up for my blog and weekly newsletter, do that. I have so much information I would love to share with you. And like I said, this video, I just wanted to share my story. And I hope my story has inspired many of you. So thank you once again. Goldie loves you. That's it. That's all. Peace. I look forward to being your life mentor, life coach. Peace. Goldie loves you.